have you here on such a gloomy day outside. I'm Mayor Ford, City of Commerce City. I have a few people I want to introduce before we get into the program. Mayor Pro Tem Dominic Moreno, Councilman Renee Bullock, Councilman Rick Teeter, Councilwoman Jody Carson. So we're well represented here this morning. Today's announcement is an example of how the public sector can facilitate private investment to benefit not only Commerce City, but the region and the state economies. But it's not just the work of city staff and Adams County Economic Development in the state of Colorado. The three gentlemen that you'll hear from today have strong belief and commitment to our local economy, and were willing to invest in their future despite uncertainty. All three of these firms, Cummins Rocky Mountain, LLC, UE Compression, and Precast Concepts, are local companies. Some firms have helped create the city's rich business history, while others are new arrivals. But all through their expansion efforts are helping to redefine Commerce City for the future. Advanced manufacturing is one of 5 target industries for the city's economic development efforts, and we've seen that hard work pays off. The new facilities along 104th and 96th Avenue create strong business corridors that will attract new companies in the future. I want to thank my council colleagues for approving the continuation of the city's nationally recognized incentive program. This program was critical to the decision-making of all 3 companies to remain and expand within our city. To date, the city's program has helped 30 businesses create 668 jobs and more than $85 million in capital investments. And we know the program works because we audit these companies and make sure jobs remain for 2 years. While Director Lund will be telling you more about these companies and their investments, I want to thank Governor Hickenlooper for his bottoms-up approach to economic development. Retaining existing businesses and encouraging them to expand is the cornerstone of our economic success. I look forward to working with the state and the county in the future to support business growth within the North Metro region. I'd like to introduce Kim Lund, Executive Director of Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just talking to Mayor Ford before these remarks and telling him how horribly uncomfortable I remain in this public role with TV cameras rolling. And despite my lawyer background, it still is always a little bit nervous. So I appreciate your gracious welcome and your gracious introduction. I'd also like to thank Commissioner Nickel, who's up here this morning. She's been a great partner, as have all the Adams County Commissioners and all the local dignitaries here today in terms of driving economic development from what we call the bottom up. Over the past 8 months, me, in the Executive Director role for Economic Development, have really focused on starting with our local partners and building an economic development plan around the things that are most important to our local communities. While someone like me at the state level can add value in certain circumstances, it's hard for me to know all the ins and outs of the local community. And so our partners at the local level become a critical aspect in creating jobs all across the state. So the bottom-up economic development approach really reached out to all 64 counties across the state of Colorado and built the Colorado blueprint. But it literally was 64 counties building business plans that became 14 regions that became one state plan. Rather than the opposite, which is let's get 10 smart people in the room in my office and figure out what to talk about at each of our local community organizations. So we think that's been effective. I think today's results are reflective of that. There are a number of local partners that we've worked closely with in this process with these great companies, but also in many communities all across the state of Colorado. Each county put together a plan. We ended up focusing on really 6 core objectives. The first was how to build a great business climate at the state level. But we think that has broad application to each local community. Adams County has done a fabulous job of building a great business climate, which is exactly why we're here today. The second was really focusing on retaining, expanding, and recruiting new companies to our communities. Again, today's announcement is reflective of those good efforts. The third was access to capital. Obviously, every business has needs in terms of capital. We at the state have limited tools. Each local community needs to focus on those kinds of things to help our great businesses grow as much as we possibly can. The fourth was the Colorado brand. We know it's a great place to live. People need to know it's a great place to do business. And I think these companies, again, reflect the belief that this is a great place to do business. The fifth, was to really focus on workforce. And I think each industry has unique challenges. We've met with almost 30 companies in the advanced manufacturing sector, and we've talked to them about workforce and the needs to connect our workforce development programs and their needs as a business. And each industry has unique needs and identified different issues there, but advanced manufacturing is one that we need to focus on from the state level and try to help build the workforce that's going to build these companies. And finally, the cornerstone really, in my view, is innovation and technology. Every company is innovating. Every company is using technology in ways that are vastly different today than they were just last year. Those things are transforming the way we do business in the United States. Those things are being implemented in advanced manufacturing companies almost every day. They're becoming more competitive globally. That allows us to grow the economy and create jobs. So ultimately, the Colorado Blueprint is nothing more than a partnership between the state, the region, and our local communities. Adams County, Commerce City have been fabulous partners in this regard, and from my standpoint, from the state level, I look forward to this partnership continuing long into the future. So today we welcome Cummins Rocky Mountain, we welcome UE Compression, Precast Concepts. These are success stories from the standpoint of retention and growth in a situation where these companies had choices to go do business in other states. They looked hard at our community, Commerce City, Adams County, and the state of Colorado. They had choices to consider from other states. They chose Colorado. They chose Commerce City. That says a lot about this community, all of your good work, Mayor, our economic development partners, our county commissioners, and our state resources. We intend to compete for companies like this every day going forward to create jobs in Colorado, to be the state that leads its way out of this recession as opposed to following along. So we look forward to a long partnership with these companies, and I want to, I think, next conclude my remarks. I'm a lawyer, I apologize for that, but I'm recovering, so I was paid by the word, but I'm now trying to narrow the number of words on my sheet and see if we can just kind of move it along here, because I know really we want to celebrate these great companies rather than someone like me. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Alice Nickel, who's a county commissioner here in Adams County. Most of you know her really well. But I want to thank her and all the Adams County commissioners for their partnership, not only on these three companies, but just a few months ago with the General Electric transaction. They were a huge, huge part of our ability to attract a company like GE into this part of the state. The Adams County Commissioners are a huge part of our economic development activities and reflective of these three successes here today. So I want to welcome to you Alice Nickel.
Have to lower that a little bit. Good morning, Mayor Ford, members of the City Council, Ken Lund, business representatives, and special guests. On behalf of my fellow commissioners who are in Washington, D.C. attending the National Association of Counties annual legislative conference, we are very pleased to celebrate three major expansion projects in Commerce City. We as a board of county commissioners have a long-standing heritage of aggressively supporting primary employers and creating jobs in Adams County. With up to 60% of all new jobs coming from the existing business community, it is imperative that they have our continued support. We congratulate these three expanding businesses for their success in the private sector and thank them for their investments in capital, new job creation, and a jump start in our local economy. We have had the privilege of of working with two of these companies in the past. We worked with Ed Anderson when Precast Concepts was in the startup phase, and with Cummins Rocky Mountains in 2010 when the company was looking at sites to build a new manufacturing plant. And as such, a short time later, we are celebrating new growth, innovation, and expanding product lines. Regardless of whether the economy is growing or shrinking, we have always worked hard to retain and attract as many new jobs as possible to Adams County. Our citizens expect and deserve no less. And we rely on our partner, Adams County Economic Development, Barry Gore, who's with us today, to make these intentions a reality each and every day. Thank you, ACED, for your hard work with Commerce City and the State Office of Economic Development on these projects. Congratulations to Cummins Rocky Mountain, Precept Concepts, and New Heat Compression for your success, your multi-million-dollar investments, and all the new jobs to be created here. Thank you for your tremendous contributions to our community and for calling Adams County home. Mayor Ford, will you now introduce the business leaders? Boy, I better not take yours because there you go.
Yeah, we would be
Give me
in a
mine.
mess if we took all
If I
mine.
took his, yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Nickel. I would now like to introduce the three companies whose efforts make a day like this possible. Eric Sparks, Chief Financial Officer and Executive Vice President of Cummins Rocky Mountain, LLC. John Baburka, is that right? John Baburka? Good enough, huh? I hate to screw those up when you guys are investing so much in it. President of UE Compression, and Ed Anderson, President of Precast Concepts, Stone-Built Concepts, and Distinctive Molds. Please join me in welcoming each gentleman to the podium for brief remarks. Saturday is our home opener with Colorado Rapids, and it's just a little token of appreciation. I would like you to all enjoy some time at the game if you have time to go.
Great, thank you. Thank you. First of all, I'd start by thanking, we'll go with the bottoms-up approach, Commerce City Economic Development and the City of Commerce City, Sean Ford, Brian McBroom, Jim Hayes, Michelle Hill, Steve Timms, Tom Akers, and their cast of thousands that have helped us over the last few years. This is our second project in the last few years. With Adams County, definitely Alice Nickel has been great, Ken Lund, and Governor Hickenlooper. So thanks to them. Today, we're announcing the expansion of our operations here in the state of Colorado. We are opening an advanced technical center for Cummins Rocky Mountain. It will be supporting both Cummins Rocky Mountain and Cummins Incorporated globally. The two centers are going to be a training center, which will be a hands-on training center that handles natural gas product and diesel product in the wide range of products that we support, from oil and gas, mining, high horsepower product, rail, as well as power generation, both natural gas and diesel, as well as on highway, which will be natural gas and diesel. So school buses, RTD transit, and a lot of the over-the-road trucks that you guys see every day. This will be our regional training center. It'll be a 19,000 square foot complex, state-of-the-art. It will be the only facility like it in the Western Hemisphere. With that, we're also announcing the addition of our technical support call center. Again, it's going to be a 24/7, 365 program that supports all of our customers around the region. We're excited about that opportunity as well. It's going to be on our existing campus on 104th Avenue. The decision process has been interesting and long. Originally, we were looking at areas outside the state of Colorado. As we started working with the city and the state and the county, it became evident to us that the opportunity for support was enough that the decision process made sense to transition that investment to the Colorado area. I would like to say this is actually it will be our fourth building that we've built since 2000 here. And we've built lots of facilities around the western United States. And we are very happy to work with this team again. It's very supportive of our existing business climate. It does a very good job of enhancing our ability to develop our businesses here. And we do it with a high degree of confidence that we'll have their support. So with that said, again, I appreciate everybody's work. It's a really big deal for us, and you should be very proud of the environment and the team that you guys have here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I want to emphasize Eric's words regarding the help and support that we got from Adams County, Commerce City, and the state in developing this new facility. We spent over a year looking around the metropolitan area on where we wanted to build this building. We knew we wanted to stay in the northeast quadrant because of transportation ease and our employee base, as well as where our vendors were located. So during our search, Commerce City helped us tremendously in making decisions to stay and invest in the community. With their offered incentives, they were easy to deal with as far as infrastructure and needs for our building. We build large gas compressors for the oil and gas industry as well as the power industry, up to about 8,000 horsepower. So we needed a large piece of ground to handle these large pieces of equipment. Their advice and working relationship that we developed with them and our realtors found us the right lot up in the Marty Farms area. We started UE Compression in 2002 and merged with an existing Commerce City company, Colorado Compressor, in 2006. So we've been in Commerce City for well over 10 years, and because of that and the ease of working with the city, we decided to stay here. A lot of our competition is located in the Oklahoma and Texas area, and that was an area where some people thought we should be relocating. We are a Rocky Mountain company. We have our roots here in the Rocky Mountains, and our majority customers are here. That's why we're going to stay. Commerce City, Adams County, and the state have worked well with us, and we feel that it is a primary reason for us being here, as well as a lot of our vendors and support. We plan to be here for the long haul. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank Adams County Economic Development Commissioners, because they were the ones responsible for us to initially land in Adams County, which subsequently became Commerce City. So thank you, Commissioner, and Jim Hayes, who formerly was with Adams County. But we really want to thank everyone in the Commerce City Economic Development and Public Works Division for their assistance with our expansion project, which is primarily for the stone-built concepts and the stick and molds division of precast concepts. We are expanding our stone-built concepts division, which specializes in decorative concrete paving slabs, which simulate natural stone. And that business is starting to take off more. And we are a supplier to the Lowe's Corporation. And fortunately, Lowe's has seen the success of our product in their stores, and they've expanded our region from Colorado to a multi-state region this year, and we hope to keep growing that part of the business. And we also serve the architectural precast needs of contractors and builders around the region. The Distinctive Molds Division is a business that we just recently purchased. We moved here from the state of Ohio. So we hope to grow that business further, and that is a national-based distribution business for molds for the precast concrete industry. So we chose to stay in Commerce City because of the retentions that Commerce City brought to us, or the retention incentives that Commerce City brought to us, proximity to our current facility, and staying close to many of our vendors and customers located in Commerce City. The incentives helped us purchase additional production equipment that will add to the creation of new jobs within the city. And in a capital-intensive business such as ours, it's extremely important to find a location to keep us competitive. We looked at many other locations in other municipalities and counties around the region, and we felt the benefits of staying next door to our current facility, the retention incentives offered, and the close working relationships with the planning department and economic development department of Commerce City outweighed all the alternative sites we considered. Without the assistance of Commerce City's economic development department and planning department in streamlining the approval process, it would have been a much longer run-up to the completion of our project. So Commerce City has come through and helped us out at a time when most companies are not expanding, but doing the opposite by contracting. With the help of Commerce City, we feel we're now positioned to take advantage of a future economic upswing. So thank you for all your help, Commerce City, Adams County, and State of Colorado.
Thank you again to each of these three companies for their investment into our city, region, and state. That concludes our announcement. Thank you all for coming.